Okay, happy weekend, happy Sunday. I wasn't going to stream today, but we did it, I think. At least I got the logic of it figured out. So we still have to verify if that actually means we can get this working in the design. But let me show you what we figured out. Where'd OBS go? Here we go. Restart. Okay. So, spent a lot of time with cardboard, spent a lot of time studying. This is the result here. So this circle represents our disk. Red line represents the driving force of the disk. Everything else here is added. And this triangle here will be our pushing guy. And specifically, this point of the triangle, which isn't connected to any linkages. But check out this path. Whoop. It does exactly what we need it to do. Now, it intersects with the circle a little bit, but I can play around with that. If I... we could do something like that-ish. But I'm trying to figure out the point where we get the sharpest. Like, this is pretty good, actually. And you can see right at the... Boom. We might even need it to come up a bit. So obviously, it's going to change a little bit of the overall design, but I think this is basically nailing it. And it's doing it in a way, because I with Motion Gen, I was figuring out quite a few different ways to get this sort of shape, but a lot of the ways required a lot of this motion happened when certain pins lined up, and it would have been a really weak spot for that switch to happen. So this is the first one. Yeah, Ruby, we're here. I figured it out. Look at that. So this pinpoint does exactly what we need. See that? It hugs the circle for the most part and then juts out right at the end there. And it's a pretty, it's a pretty compact design. It stays hugging the circle for the most part, except for down here. It kind of comes out again, but I think this is what we're going to model after. I'm so stoked that you're on here. I hope you're having a good weekend. So I've already kind of started. So one thing I've done is I've shrunken the jack down. So the jack now is only half of this, and we're only using 1/2 of this disc. The other one I'm changing into the whole arms and linkages situation. So based on the Motion Gen system, we have one linkage that comes out past the circle, so that's fine, that's easy. This linkage represents what's connected to the axle, and so that's what we have here. That's going to be this linkage. And this hole here is just for the original screw that ended up in there. We're going to get rid of all this. We don't need any of this anymore. So that's this one. Now this linkage here is connected to the axle, but it's free rotating. So it needs to rotate independently from the red one. So we're going to have to do a second bearing assembly, which is okay because we already have one. So I'm just going to grab it from here and just literally take this whole thing. So I think it's this guy. Yep. Now, obviously, I don't know for sure if this is going to work. Oh, you know what? How do I do this? How do I make this a separate component? Can I just literally go like this and this and copy and then go here, create a component, link arm 6. And then can I paste? No, that's dumb. I think I can insert component. What are we looking for? The biggest problem right now is that the linkage that extends past the cam will interfere with the hammer action. This one here, this long one. Is that the one you mean? This one shouldn't get in the way. We're just going to have to make it, put an arch on it so that when it goes past the axle, it doesn't hit the axle. But it should be fine. It's going to sit. It's going to sit out here, and then it'll have to hook around the axle, but that should be fine. There's plenty of room on this side, so there's actually plenty of room on this mechanism in general, which is great. Now I don't know exactly if this is gonna like fit, and we're gonna have to, obviously this represents just the motion. It doesn't represent anything. I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, and this will just connect to our frame piece, which is going to come across here. So I think we're all good. Oh, no. Okay. Now, what is this? This is external 2. So if I insert a component, do I literally find external 2? Can I do this? This is kind of dumb. Insert derive. External 2. This is dumb. Okay, let me look this up. Okay, now I am in assembly mode in Fusion 360, and I need... Dusty's in here? Nice. And I need to copy one of the components I already have added to the assembly as a new unique component. How do I do this? Go to the browser tree, locate the component you want to duplicate, right click on the component name and select copy. Oh my god, is it that easy? Is it that easy? Copy. Activate the parent component. Use paste new, right click anywhere. Paste. Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, so where is this now? Where does this live? External 2 again. Okay, great. So now we could take this, and first I can get rid of the hammer on this. Okay, I see. Nice. We can get rid of this. Nice. And then we can go and sketch on this surface. Nice. We can project this shape. Okay. And I believe in this guy, L6 and L1 are basically the same length. And what happens if we actually change the length of L6? Just so I know, so I can use this in context. Okay, so changing the length of L6 actually determines. So I think if anything, I want to aim for a bit longer than L1, which is great, but I can do it the exact same. I'll just do it the exact same for coolness factor. I think that'll be the coolest. So then I can draw a circle that goes to here. I can draw a circle that goes to here. I can draw a circle here at 6.35. Another one at, what did I do, 12. And then I can tangentiify. Boom. Tangentiify. Boom. Tangulate that. Tangulate that. Finish sketch. We've got the goats out and about today for the first time. They're eating all of our overgrown stuff, which is really nice. That's one of the reasons I wanted goats in the first place. Pew 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 pew. New body. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, okay. Very annoying. Very annoying. Very annoying. I gotta undo all this because apparently when I edit this one, it edits this one, and I can't have that. Why would you do that to me? Okay, position and confirm. Pasting the new component directly on top of the old one. Use the arrows. Click OK. How to verify it worked. Oh, okay. I didn't get the paste new option, but paste worked. However, editing the copy now affects the original. Go to the browser tree, right click on the very top of the component. Oh, give me 1 second. I might have to deal with something here. What's happening? Let's go. Let's go home. Okay. Yeah, everything's fine. Since we got the goats, we've never let them outside of their like designated pen area that we built. But we initially got them. Well, my wife just loves animals, so she just wanted goats, and she loves goats. But I wanted them because we have a bunch of weeds around the house, and they're really great at removing that kind of stuff. So we cordoned off an area today and let them come out and eat weeds for the first time. It was very cute. But then they started to get, it's right outside my studio, so they started to get a little crazy apparently, and just had to help put them back inside. Okay, go to the browser, right click on the very top. This is capture design history. Click it if it's this is frustrating. Okay. So I want to go here. Copy. Where's paste new? Right click on the very top line of your browser tree. Okay. Copy the component container. Yeah, I did that. Do not open the components folder and copy the cylinders and bodies. Right click the component cube and copy. Okay. Right click at the very top line of your browser tree. Paste is still not an option. Here's the exact workaround. Locate the original component in your browser tree on the left. Right click its name and look for break link. Okay. That is also not an option. God, none of this is right. Break link is also not an option. It has the chain link icon. So annoying. Read-only reference to a completely separate file sitting on a data plan. Fusion blocks paste new and break link if it thinks you're trying to alter that original external file from the site. Since break link is grayed out for you, it means you likely have a subcomponent active or are mid-command. Insert it again. Instead of copying it from your browser workspace, copy it from your source files. This creates an entirely new external file. Open your data panel. Find the original file that matches. Right-click it in the data panel and select copy. Okay, this is so annoying. Copy. What? Copy. Oh, I gotta copy too? This is so dumb. Save it into your project folder with a new name. Copy. I don't understand what any of this is. This is so frustrating. File, save as. Link 6. assembly. Okay, now I can exit this. Insert a derive. Link 6 assembly. I just want the body. I just want the bearing fitting. No. What? God, none of this is working. This is so frustrating. I went into the component file and saved as to make it a unique file. I then thought I could derive from that file, but it won't let me select any bodies, only sketches. I got goats, bunch of chickens, bunch of cats, a dog, and a gecko. It's all my wife's situation, but I benefit from them. Okay, do I gotta exit this? Maybe? Here, insert. The drive menu has a derived type setting at the top of its dialog box. If it's set to one component as a new design or parameters only, it locks your selection filter. Okay. I'm so confused with this. I don't know why this is so complicated. This should be pretty easy. Fix the selection filter inside Drive. If you want to keep using the Drive workflow from this new file, change how Fusion looks at the file. Open your newly saved unique file. Go to Create Derive. Look closely at the Derive dialog box. This is so annoying. Okay, there we go. That worked fine. That worked fine. Nice. Okay, now we're in beeswax. Finish. Oh, no, I didn't want to finish. I want to sketch. On here, I want to project this. I want to project this. Okay. Must be pretty chaotic. It can be, but it's we were talking about it the other night because we have like a little ritual that we do every night for the animals, and it's like it feels so real to have to care for animals like this. And it's really quite nice. It's like a, you know, it's like a little mini purpose, because I think in a lot of ways, a lot of what life is about is trying to find purpose, and animals are, I think, a pretty darn good purpose to have. They're special. They're special little guys. Crazy guys, but I love it. I love it. No, not that one. That one. Boom. Okay. Nice. And then boop 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 boom. Boop 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 boom. Boom boom boop boop boom. Boop 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 boom boop boom boom. This is a dumb little piece here. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Okay, that is a fat arm. That arm is fat. I think I will probably skinny it up a little bit, but for now, that's good. And we're going to color this red. Finish. And nope, that doesn't rotate yet. So we want to do an as-built joint between this guy . What is happening here? Okay. That works for me. This thing's looking cool, I think. Okay, so finish. So we've got this link, which is connected to Ertang. What is happening? Where is this at? Oh, here we go. We can just remove this whole situation. Okay. So now, external 2, boom. All right. So when we look back, why do I need it so thick? Because I need to use another bearing. And these bearings are pretty big, unfortunately. But that's okay. We have tons of room on this thing. And honestly, the thicker it is, the stronger the mechanism can be. So I think that's okay. Obviously, I'll thin it down if I can somehow. But we'll just leave it thick and big. I think it looks pretty good like that. So looking at our design, so we've got L6, we've got L1. Now I need to do L4, which comes off the back to this area. And L4 has a significant amount of travel to it that we have to accommodate. So biggest thing being right there. So it's going to have to arc around this. And then when it comes up, yeah. So, and it's going to sit almost at a 45, maybe 30 degrees up from horizontal and then just outside. So we're going to add yet another component. And what are we calling this? That one's L4. Link 4. Capture position. We can sketch on this plane. So if we come out here, it's probably out like that much. And then hang on. Weird, why is my graph all messed up like that? Okay, I'm actually gonna undo. Sketch on this plane, I guess. Construction line, let's come out to here. Let's come straight up. And then let's do, what did I say? It's like more than that. I think let's do like that. Honestly, 140 degrees is probably good. Okay. So this is the point. 6.35. And then it comes all the way forward and actually sticks out about the same as everything else. Once again, if we were to move this, that doesn't really affect the path too much. So we could go flat. Or we could stick it out to about the same. Let's stick it out to about the same, then it gives it some consistency. So let's project that. And what angle we got? So when this is sitting basically perfectly horizontal, Okay, so at horizontal, it actually sticks out quite a bit more. Okay, so I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm just going to eyeball this. At horizontal, it sticks out like maybe here. 6.35. I don't know if I'm going to do such large linkages here. Let's go with 10. And let's go with 10. No measurement reference tools in the simulator. There kind of are. But I just sort of I don't know. I didn't really. I played around with that all day yesterday, and so much of it was just moving little bits here and there, and all I was looking for was the shape. So none of this is like at scale at all. And this was more just a learning experience of figuring out how each of these points affects this individual path. And so now that I kind of know, like I know that like changing this length doesn't actually do too much, so I can work with that. Changing this length kind of adjusts, this arc and just stuff like that. So I can play with that because I'm gonna have to change things around as well. I didn't obviously you can't really model stuff in this. It's not 3-dimensional. It's only 2-dimensional. So I'm gonna have to be able to play around with this anyways. So that was kind of the point with that. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do the lame thing. I'm just going to do a straight line for now. Finish. So this is obviously not where we want it, but that's okay. I'm going to extrude this to this point, I guess. And we're going to go 2 sides. Actually, the first side, let's bring it to the edge of this. No. Let's just give it some space here. Just eyeballing this. And then I'm gonna turn on this body. I'm gonna do an as-built joint between this and this. Revolute right there. Okay. It's obviously not physically connected to anything yet, but that's okay. So now this moves independently. This moves with that. This moves independently. So that's good. That's where we want to be. So now looking at this versus our drawing, L6 is pointed up quite a bit. Let's get this kind of perfectly horizontal there, 90 degree. L6 pointed up pretty aggressively, and then L4 could come down a bit more. L6 is kind of there. Maybe a little less. That's looking pretty good. So now we want to connect these 2. But the fact L4 goes through the cam. It's going to sit on the outside, right? So it's going to sit here. Well outside of the cam. The only thing it's going to interact with is this, so I got to arc it to avoid that. Yeah, the camshaft. So I'm going to do an arc here. But I'm going to get all the joints set up so I can actually move this. And then once I can move it, then I can figure out exactly where it's going to end up. So we're going to create a new component. We're going to call this L3. Link 3. Capture position. Sketch on this surface. We are going to project this. We're going to project this. I'm going to draw a line going from here to here. And then again out here. And this one we can curve it in a bit. It doesn't seem to make a difference. .35. I'll probably use smaller screws for these outer parts anyways, but they don't need to obviously be 1/4 inch screws. That's a bit insane. But for the just for the testing of it, 10. Boom to boom. Tangent this to that. Okay. 12. Boom to boom. Tangent this to this. And then boom to boom. Tangent this to this. Okay. And now we can extrude this. Nice. To here. I'm going to print these in all different colors as well. I think that'll be so cool. And then we can finish that. We can as built joint this to this to this. We can this to this here. Okay. And now theoretically, oh yeah, look at that. Woo! Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay, so now looking at L5 here, L6 is above. So what do we do? I think maybe I need to shrink this a little bit. I think this sticks out too much. So let's go back to L3. Make it small. Finish. Let's stick this above. And then L5 has this crazy shape. So L5 is important because that triangle's got to interact with our pusher bar somehow. And it's got to do it in a way that it's out of the way of the jack. It's got to do it in a way that's out of the way of all of this nonsense. So let's hide that. So we're going to add a new component. Link 5. Capture position. I'm going to create a sketch on this. Come on this surface. We're going to project this. We're going to project this. I'm also going to project this. And when we're in this like vertical position, so this is already kind of halfway past the point. It's good to know. So let's kind of go maybe like here with it, and we can just make that 4 millis. And then we can go here, make this 12, here, make this 10. And I think I want to go like this. Tangentialize, tangerine. That one's already tandies. Extrude this. Let's actually put this here for a second. So we are getting some conflict here, but that's okay, because all we're trying to do is understand at this point. Okay, so obviously this is not how we want this built, but we just want to look at this. So we can finish, and we can as built a joint to there, revolute. Okay, and then we want to, I just need to shift J next time. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so theoretically, oh, look at that. So at this point, oh man, that looks cool. Doesn't that look cool? Oops. Doesn't this look cool? So ping and flips out. So now we need to understand what's going on here. So at our most vertical position, so with this at okay. Yeah, so this at perfectly vertical or horizontal, That is right where the jack interacts with our thingy. So that is the exact point that the jack interacts with our thingy. Oh my god, look how this is pretty. This makes me very happy. Actually, I'm going to hide the jack for a second just so we can analyze this. So the jack engages at this point, and we're looking at this little guy. The jack engages. This obviously is a problem. So, okay, let's move this up first. So we want to do link 6 assembly. Capture position. Can I literally just move this? Oh, I shouldn't have done it that way. Because what happens if I make link 6 longer? Still kind of works. Okay, so let's go back. I wanna analyze this again. We didn't officially analyze this yet. Let's get out of here. Okay, so perfectly horizontal. Jack starts lifting up at this point. That moves out of the way. Wait, what? Okay, I see. So that's well out of the way at that point. When this swings back, it pushes it in place. So at this point, this little knob needs to be touching right here. Now, I think what I'm going to do... Obviously that intersects with that, which isn't ideal. So, what if we change some of this up a bit? Let's move link 5. Capture. Let's move link 5 over. This is going to work. This is going to work so good. And it's going to be beautiful. Oh, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to move. I wish I could move. Oh, wait. Can I move components? Oh, nice. Okay. So I'm going to move this guy over. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Dumb. That's dumb. I gotta go into the goddamn thing. Move bodies. Let's move this guy out. And I'm probably going to put another one of these somewhere. We'll see. Yo, Tin Talon, what is going on? We're doing some crazy stuff here. Ruby's been helping me out. Okay, so I want to see where at the bottom of this stroke. It's not going to go past that point. So now we can go and edit this guy. And we can obviously sketch, project, ba-ba, 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 project that, create an arc, a 3-point arc from here to here, and we need a gap. And then we can offset this 2 sides symmetric by 5 mils. Nice. Can I change this arc at all? Why you not let me change that arc? It's okay. And then we can extrude this. Boom. Okay. We can extrude this. Boom. Done. All right, so that guy arcs now. God, that's looking cool. I think that's looking cool. Oops. And then when this moves forward, oh yeah. Oops. Oh, this is so good. This is good. Look at that. It moves perfectly out of the way. Okay, so looking at our design here, looking at our what's supposed to be our pusher here, it moves out of the way real good. Right? Moves right out of the way there. When it comes back, this point is supposed to contact the blue. And right now, not only does it contact it, it goes deep inside of it. And continues to go in until that point. So that's what we got to change. So how do we change that? Let's look at our model here. So it goes really deep inside. So obviously we can move this out like that. That works. We can lengthen L6. I think we should lengthen L6 regardless. We can shrink L5 a little bit. Maybe even bring L5 down. That doesn't do too much. What if we shrank this whole thing? Okay, no, can't do that. So that's got to stick out. We can shrink L6. And obviously that's going to have a drastic change there. So That's node. Let's shrink. Let's make L6 bigger. What does that do? Does that... Okay. So now I need to get rid of that joint. Okay. And now I need to create a new joint between that point and that point. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? Link, where's link 4? Okay, that joint's just not working right now. Let's just eyeball this, because who cares? Who cares? And then we can do an as-built joint between these two, which tends to work a little bit better. This is so nuts. Still is traveling too much. I need it to not travel this much. I need it to start basically. I need it so that it goes in at this point and then starts rotating at this point. So what is happening here? Do we need to bring... No. No. No, that's too slow. So I need to speed it up. So that speeds it up. That shrinks that. We don't want that. We can do this. I gotta make L6 smaller, actually. Which is annoying, because I just made it bigger. So cool. This is exactly the motion we want. Now we just gotta fine tune it, and fine tuning it is hard. But I knew it was possible. So yeah, right now at this point, basically it's releasing here, I need it to release here. And it does continue to go out there. So how do I shrink that? So it's once these that starts moving in a downward position once these two holes align with the tangentially with the circle. So I need to move this inwards. Inwards, so it's tangential at the point we want it to be tangential. Boom. And then we want to edit this guy. Make this probably 10, right? All right, I kind of got to like redo these every time, which is a bit, but that's okay. All we got to do is that. Okay. And now, is that good? Is that going to work? Is that still connected? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, some crazy stuff is happening now. And I think it's because this guy's too long now. So let's adjust this. I think there's going to be a lot of messing around with this. It's going to be a real... Let's make that shorter. Finish. I'm going to delete this joint. Okay, now I'm going to try and line these up. Oh yeah, nice and easy. Nice and easy. And then we're going to do a new as-built joint betwixt this. Oh my god. Betwixt this and this. At this. Okay. Yeah, that moves right out of the way. That contacts. Still rotates too much. So I think now maybe I got to bring this in, which would be nice. I got to bring this in. I wish I could adjust these on the fly. I bet there's a way I could have modeled this so that I could have done that. I don't know how to do that though. But Damn, this looks cool. Damn, this looks cool. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted. A nice, clean linkage. So I'm going to shrink this in. Because I think now it's trying to... What is it trying to do? Yeah, I'm going to bring this in. We sure are. We sure are. And I'm feeling good. The last few days have been brutal for my confidence. So what I'm going to do, I'm literally going to redo this. You know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm realizing there's no point in cleaning this arc up or making this arc yet, because we can always do the arc once we figure this out. So I'm going to remove these steps, delete, go back to this, and then this one I could just, yes, so much easier. Finish. And then instead of even worrying about this hole right now, wait, does that? Oh, that already works. Okay, so that pulls this in way too hard. I need it to stop pulling in, like, at this point. I need that to be the point where it stops pulling in. Why does it continue to pull in? Let's analyze this. So I need this to stop pulling in. Okay, I see. Oh, I see. There's different there's different controls for this program in Fusion 360, so it's like pretty annoying. Okay. So pulls out, that's amazing. Pulls back in. I need it to stop pulling in at that point. But obviously it continues. Why does it continue? Do I gotta make it longer? Do I gotta make this one longer? want to see, like, let's extend this out here. Nope. Making it longer didn't do too much. Okay, so it starts going down. Oh, I see. It starts going... What does it need to hit for it to stop rotating? It's kind of like the average between all of these four need to be tangential. Okay, so I just want to mess around then. What if we literally just made this like so short? Thing is, I don't think this one actually does too much. But we can also change the spot. In like a vertical perspective. So let's like bring it like here. Let's see what this does. And obviously, the nice thing is we can just like really... No, that collapses it. That collapses it hard. Because these need to line up, so these can't be. Okay. So let's go here. Maybe let's try it up higher. See what happens. I think this guy's got to be on the outside of these. Still continues inwards. So, looking at this, what happens if we change the height of this? That makes a difference for sure. So let's try that. Let's delete that. Then we can lift this up significantly. We can bring this back down and kind of like maybe there-ish. Why does that want to come in so hard though? Yeah, that's something obviously wrong keeps happening there. So by lifting this up higher, oh, we bring it closer. So I need to go lower. I need to go lower. That was the issue. Okay. Capture. Yes. This needs to go, let's try like significantly lower. And let's bring this up maybe even higher. Nice. That's looking pretty good. So the point at which it flips out is where this is the most horizontal. So the point at which that flips out is where this is the most horizontal. That's perfect. Connects. Starts lowering, but we're still getting a lot of travel from here to there, which I don't want. I want there to be almost, I want there to be like a bunch of travel here, and then at this point, this guy stops moving inwards. But you can see it continues to move inwards for quite some time. So that's what we need to change. It continues to move inwards till about here. So how do we change that? What does L6 do? Okay, so let's make L5 longer than L3. So L5 longer than L3. So let's make L5 longer, and I'm also going to bring this guy like in, I guess. That's so nice, though, how it shoots out right there. And then at this point, it pushes it back in. Where does it stop rotating? Right there. Yeah, that's a little far down. That's almost full retraction. So let's change L3 now. Let's try that. Yeah, we're getting there. Pushes. Now this is happening too late. So to change the timing, we can change L4 capture, and we can just move. We can move it down, and we can move this up. What has happened? Ah, ah. That moves out of the way. Nice. Comes in. Yeah, so see how it moves out of the way. Starts coming in. Contacts. And then stays at that point. And then starts moving out of the way again. So we're getting there. Now, I want to see if I can shrink this whole thing in. So let's change. I'm thinking about changing L1 actually. Because what does changing the length of this do? Not too much, honestly. Okay, I won't touch L1. L6. No, we want to keep it sharp, I think. L5 obviously makes a difference, but that's easy. Okay, so we want to continue the difference between L5 and L3. That's gonna help the most. So we want to make L3 even shorter. And we want to make L5 even longer. Okay, I want to make L4 shorter this way. It just touches. Still a little early. I need this action to happen. The closest point where it's touching, this is at like 30 degrees from horizontal. I need the closest point to happen at 90. And then for the last little bit, it juts it out. So I think what I need to do is bring this up and this down. Can I literally just do that like this. Oh no. Oh no, I got the BMW logo. Okay, that's okay. We're good. Oh wait, this has to connect to here though. So then what if we bring this down even lower? There. Ooh. Ooh, I'm not liking that. Okay. Oops. What if this is connected out here? What is this going to do? Huh. Don't really like that, but just it's kind of interesting. Let's bring it back in. Let's bring it well in. Let's see what this does. Doesn't like that. Doesn't like that. So I don't think this can be below the axle. I think this has to be above the axle. Okay, now my thinking is all I have to do is bring L5, make L5 longer, bring L6 further back this way. So I think to do that, I'm just going to delete this. We're going to grab L6, rotate it further, and then we're going to change L5 to here. Let's connect this there. Finish. Oh. And then we have to get a new joint between this and this at that point. Okay, didn't like that. Finish. We're gonna rotate L6 back like this. And let's adjust L6 some more. It's just a lot of this. It's just a lot of this. What happens if we make it huge? This is starting to get a little bit like pretty in the way. I don't even care that that looks bad. Very close. Those all need to line up in order to stop rotating. So let's bring that in further. That moves out of the way so good though at this point. Oops. Okay, so I want to change L4 again. Let's bring this down again. And let's see if I can bring this down a bit. That would be nice. Finish. Did not like that. If we just come out. Did not like that. If we come in. Did not like that. So this like has to sit above now? Is that what's happening? Holy cow, let me grab this. Did not like that. Okay, it works here. That pulled away so good. Okay, so now we're waiting for L6 to pull it in. So I'm going to move this circle in more. Just totally collapsed there. Why does it collapse? What's happening when it's collapsing? It's kind of fine because it'll never get to that point really. And it'll just stop. So that is okay. See that? So when this is up and this guy swings back, and obviously that's not really touching there, but then as this swings forward, that will push this guy back into jack position. But then it keeps pushing it there, so we need to stop that. So what do? How do we make that happen faster? Okay, so I need this probably higher. If we do L5, super long. We could even have it coming inwards. So interestingly enough, despite, oh shoot. Okay, the further L6 is out to an extent, and the further L5 goes in, the more aggressive that jut out is. Boom. But obviously, this has to come up. Yeah, and I don't like that. I don't really like how that passes over, and it's because L6 doesn't need to be like that. L6 can be short, not too short, but it can be the same as everything else. L3. Yeah, so L3 can come above, but as soon as it goes horizontal, it flips. So this can't be like that. This can come up. If this comes down, we bring this down, then we flip that upwards. But then we don't get our lower thing, so we need to be here. Yeah, so L6 has got to stick out. L5 needs to. Okay. So L6 has to stick out quite a bit. Okay, that's way too late now. So what do we need to do? We can bring this up higher. Not too high though. We can bring this lower, not too low though. We can bring this outwards. think I kind of want to just try this. So I'm going to clean this up. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring this in. So whatever this is, L5. Capture position. I'm going to bring this inwards. As this rotates upwards, actually, where's the sketch? Let's keep this sketch on because then we can see. We still, I'm good on my end. I got mad kilobytes per second right now. Anyways, let me know if it keeps dying. But so at this point in the stroke where this is slightly above the horizontal line, at this point in the stroke where this arm L1 is slightly above the horizontal line, this is where the jack has been lifted, the beater hits and starts returning back. And then it'll hit here. So I got to just extend this down so that it actually touches there. So now it's contacting there. As you return the pedal and the cam rotates back down, you can see it starts pushing. And then at this point, where this little circle is hitting here, it's now pushed the hammer back into place. This is pretty good. I really wanted to get it so that this was pushing the hammer back at the point where this was perfectly vertical. Yeah, I still want to do that. I need to figure that out. How can I do that? We're so close. This is so cool. I want to see if I can bring L6 in further too. It's a little gaudy for me. And then what is this one? L5. Oh my god. There we go. annoying. Look at that, though. Isn't this so nice? So I need this to contact sooner. I need this to hit the green. I need this little ball to hit the edge of this green, ideally before this part goes vertical. It's not happening right now. Why isn't it happening? Because this is too high. So let's get our L4 edited. Capture. Do we need to go up or down? I think down. Oh, messed up. Okay, so it moves out of the way. Once this goes vertical, yeah, so the closest point is when this bar is perfectly horizontal. That's the point at which this is closest to this. So we need to change that so that it's closest right here. So once again, we're going to go into L4, capture position, boom. Let's bring this up to here. Can even bring it back a bit. Could have it sticking out a little bit. We want this. Finish, finish. Okay, now continue. So it's not just when this is vertical. What else is it? It stops rotating. I think when the sum of all these holes becomes vertical as well. So at this point, this is where I do need to bring L6 out. I do need to bring maybe L5 in. Starting to understand these linkages, starting to understand what the whole deal is. And it really helps to be able to analyze. Why aren't you letting me move though? There we go. So if we bring this out here, Okay, now we've got a big swing happening there. I completely agree. So we've got a big swing happening here. This is all great. But I need this swing to happen sooner. How do we do that? I think we got to make L5. Move L5 or L6 up. And let's grab this. Let's grab that. And let's do as built joint betwixt this guy and this guy. Snap it there. Okay, we're getting close. So the other thing that's happening is goes in, starts to pull away. Okay, this is confusing me. This needs to move. This needs to move here. So at this point, okay, so it seems like, okay, I see. So the point at which L5 is closest into the middle of the circle seems to be when L3, these two holes, are perpendicular with L4, our long bar, because it's right at that point. So if we want to make it like this, then I can just bring L4 or L5, I mean. I can bring L5 in. Like that. Now, right off the bat, does that change anything? No, because we're still hinging on this L3. So let's change that. Capture position. This is kind of fun. So we want to bring this in to there. Now it's doing too much. Now it's doing way too much. keeps pulling in. So why does it keep pulling in? What if we shrink L6 again? So much finessing. But I'm glad we're streaming this because this is actually getting some stuff done. So let's bring this in. What if we bring it? Or let's just try this. I don't know. No, it doesn't work because we're waiting for... Okay, so let's try that again. Capture position. We want to bring L6 forward more. Let's try that. Whoa, did not like that for some reason. What is happening with the hinge here? Why is the hinge doing this? Let's make L6 longer. I think L6 has to be longer. Longer and flatter. Let's go right to there. Oopsie. No thank you. Okay. That's obviously not working. So L6 can't be too high. So let's bring this here. Boom. Okay, let's play with L4 a bit more. We're going to get this. I mean, it's basically there. I'm at the point now where I could be happy with this and we would have a functioning pedal. But I really want to just like see how good we can get this. Why does that want to continue downwards so much? what's happening here. Why does that go in so much? Oh, that's pulling it in now. I see. Okay. We can't have it pulling this in. So we need to have it pushing it out. Pushes it well out of the way. Then we come in. Pushes it well out of the way. Boom. But I need it to connect at that point. Not at this point. I need to connect at that point. We're going to get this. We are going to get this. So when I move this closer, breaks there. Why does it break? Breaks because it can't wrap around that. Okay. We're so close, and we're getting closer. I'm actually thinking now we can probably use this. Because what I can do is I can just shape L5, but I want to shrink this down. So this all waits for once we're at vertical, that's the point. So if I want it to connect at this point, I got to bring L6 way out here, right? But we've already tried that. It didn't work, and this is nice and clean looking. Oh, it looks so good. What if we bring L4 like way in? What happens? I think it fails, but I'm just curious. Just to clean things up a bit. That works good, actually. Yeah, I think I'm going to try and get this to a point where I can print it and have it assembled for tomorrow's stream. So that pulls that in. So this pulls, L4 pulls the whole thing in. Until L6 and L1 align vertically. So if I want that to happen here, L6 needs to come way out. Let's just try that now that we've got L4 all compact. Okay, yeah, it does not like that, obviously. Why? What happened? What failed? Okay, I need L4 to start pushing at this point. Continues pulling, which makes sense. If I made it lower, though, even lower still. Now it has to push. Ooh. Ooh, this is good. This is very good. This is very good. Okay. Okay. I think we got it. It's nice and compact. Ah, it breaks though. Okay, we can't have it break. Why does it break? So it breaks because that starts pushing out. Oh, I see. Yeah, we maximize that. So we can't have that. So we got to bring L4 up a little bit more. That's nice. Okay, that's where it breaks. And that is too soon to break. Capture. Can I bring L6 in a bit more now? No. Okay, I regret bringing L6 in more. If we bring it in and lower it like that. Oi, oi, oi. That looks good. That works. So it starts rotating at that exact point, but it keeps rotating and pulling that in. So I need L5 at this point to be sticking out. Oh no. Okay, that's fine. I think it still works. Breaks. I think it was better like this. What time is it right now? 4. Yeah, I'm probably going to call it here. Take a bit of a break. I think so. The issue right now is that once once our green arm becomes vertical or becomes horizontal, that's where I want this to stop moving. But you can see it continues to move. But I actually think that's okay because what I could do is I can create a fulcrum at this pivot point, which has an arm that pushes this guy out, and just have it so at this point I can actually tune the exact point that it pushes this back. And then any further movement, because we can actually just like eat up that further movement with some geometry, and I'll explain that next time. So I think this works, and now my goal is basically I want to shrink this as small as possible. So it basically isn't sticking out at all. I'll change the holes, make them smaller, and I will make this whole thing way smaller, way more compact. I think that's going to be the plan moving forward. And this is so nice. Like, this looks so good. I'm really happy with this. Really happy with this. So yeah, let's do that. This looks like a mess right now, but the magic is there, and we'll get it working. So, okay, I'm going to take a break. We figured this out. It took like 4 days. But I don't know if I'll come back on stream tonight. I'll probably I might, but I know you're on the East Coast, so you're later. I'll stream it anyways just so I had the footage. I'll get this to printing capability. I'll print it tonight and we can assemble it tomorrow, and then we'll have it ready for stream. Okay. All right, that's awesome. Thanks for hanging out. I will if you're around when I'm streaming tonight, great, but I'll likely see you tomorrow instead.